Well, anybody light skin started, just as a name. I mean, we have been in ministry together for the past 3 years, and we would always go out to eat. Each first Sunday, and I remember coming home, getting ready to take a nap, and I was thinking about just us as a group and saying that if we ever became a singing group, what our name would be. And I came up with the name Ain't Nobody Light Skin. So I sent the email out, went to sleep, didn't think nothing about it. I woke up to all these different emails from these guys talking about how silly the name was. We laughed about it for a few weeks, just kind of died down, and then all of a sudden, you start getting music and all these different ideas with music, and this kind of just started to roll from there. So what happened with the music you was getting?
Chocolate Roses was actually the first song.
Okay.
I remember sending that text out. It literally just came to my head while working at Kroger, just doing my thing. I've got a box of chocolate roses came to my head, and I'll never forget it. And that's actually their favorite song.
Yeah, so, Chocolate Roses. It was my favorite song. What did you think about when we sent the name out and the music and everything?
Because at first it was just a joke.
Yeah.
We're all, of course, not light-skinned dudes.
No, we're not light-skinned, as you can see. Now, we're not that dark, but we ain't light-skinned, so that's the name anybody light-skinned came
Right,
from.
just think of a singing group, and Mike had all the music, and we started coming up with the script, and we started coming up with the characters, buying dashikis and wigs, all these things. It's like, we had to do something at that point, so it was just a vision that we were able to see.
Yeah.
It was very crazy.
Yeah.
Very crazy. Photo shoot was crazy. Couldn't stop laughing the whole entire time.
Yeah. And you can see I don't even have no hair. Enough for no afro. Enough for a fade. So when I start buying my afros instead of the pictures, I was like, what did you do with hair, man?
My wig was handmade.
Yeah, he played with it the whole movie. I'm sure y'all seen that. We was only maybe she like, Mike, stop playing with the wig.
Yeah.
So it was good.
The goal of the film was basically to tell the story of Brotherhood. We really wanted to take you on a journey on how a group of friends meet and they go through all the bad times and also the good. We wanted to basically take you inside, we call ourselves a team, inside the locker room. You might see us on game day on the stage, but you actually want to see what goes on behind the scenes. And the fact that we all had our separate issues, but in terms that affected the whole group as one. It's the fact that I went through my issues as Suge, and of course he had his issues as Mocha, and his issues as G. We were able to come back together for one purpose, and that was the body of Jesus Christ.
Definitely. It was a goal to show other black men that, we can be united. We don't have to be in the streets fighting each other. Or one thing, that we have a common goal, and that's to reach other brothers and let them know that Jesus is the answer for anything that you do, and you can find unity and courage and strength in one another. You don't have to put one another down. You're not in a competition with one another. We're all here for a complete purpose, and that is to serve God and to serve others.
Yeah, we definitely wanted to show the team aspect of it, because so many times groups start off and something happens, and they have an argument, they fall out, but they never come back together. We wanted to show you from the time we got together, the excitement, the money we made, all the fame, but we wanted to show you the fall. And we wanted to show you that it doesn't have to just stay at the fall, you can come back together. And the reason we were able to come back together was because of the love, of Jesus that we end up gaining from our friend Roshan Wickets, who was an actual real minister, by the way, that we've known for a long time. So being able to go to him, talk to him about our problems, which is something that men don't do. Men don't ask for help. If you remember in the hotel room, Suge was saying all the men in my family always said I was weak for asking for help. So when these groups fall out like this, it's usually because somebody doesn't want to ask for help. Something's going on they don't want to say, they stop showing up, they disappear, they're not returning calls, they don't want to ask for help. So we wanted to take you on a full journey to show you everything that happens from start to finish with the team, and the end result that kept everything together was Jesus Christ. I can definitely honestly say there are so many similarities between my character in the movie versus my character in real life, just who I am. I'm the oldest brother of 3, and my character, if you watch it closely, I'm kind of like the glue, the one that kind of kept everything together. I was the one that wanted to form the group. I was the one who wanted to keep the group back together when it was messed up. So in my personal life, I've had to do things like that with my younger brother and younger. So they always looked up to me. They always came to me with any problems. This is why I didn't share any of my problems with these guys until the very end. I had always had my struggles with lust and things like that in the movie. I didn't want to tell them about it because they were always coming to me with their issues. So that was, played out in my life, over time. I mean, out of us three right now, I'm the oldest, and I'm not that old. I look very good for my age. I'm 32, by the way. But I'm the oldest of these three. The big brother role for me came natural, just to kind of be the glue and be the one that they just lean on with any problems.
Mine's, I would say, is a little different. Only because it's very opposite of what people expect from me.
Yeah.
I do sing, and I'm not as cocky as Mocha is, and I'm not as mean as he is either.
Well,
You
well, he got mean during this film. He got mean during this film. I'll tell you that.
You don't see that.
Yeah, you don't see that. That's behind the scenes. You don't see that.
I just think I needed to do something different for myself to see where I could go. But the biggest similarity is when we were in chapter 4. We was in that room.
Yeah.
The tears were real.
They were.
Because
They were.
some of the things that I talked about in my character, such as me performing in front of my mom and her clients that she was doing here in the house, that was real. I remember doing that most of the time in my life, so I wasn't really around my dad. My dad was in my life. He was there, but we weren't as close as we should have been.
Yeah.
So I've learned. So when I say I learned a lot from women and their perspectives on life, that was really, really real.
Yeah.
And you could tell in some of the things that I did as Mocha in the beginning, because it wasn't really strong masculine. It was really
Not at all.
Some of the stuff was like, okay, are you a man? What you doing?
Yeah.
That was what I was trying to convey. Sometimes you don't have certain people in your life, and you just need people to help you change. So I hope that this has helped somebody and help them become stronger and who they're called to be and who they want to be.
Yeah.
If I had any similarities with mine in regards to being an individual, very selfish and prideful, because I'm an only child, and when it comes to reaching out for help or getting assistance, that's something that I really struggle with. And that was definitely something that came out in Suge's character. It's something I was able to relate to so much. When I know I have friends, but I have always felt that they're not going through what I'm going through.
Yeah.
And of course, with chapter 4, as you can see, each of us had our individual issues. I'm pretty sure you're watching the film saying, hey, I'm going through that, or I'm going through that issue as well. So knowing that I had a place I can come to wherever I stay here can stay here. So that was one thing. Another thing, I've always wanted to do music, but I've never had any musical talent. So I believe Suge's character was perfect for that. I always wanted to be on stage.
Tinted windows.
And the ladies throw their panties at me, just keep throwing them. I always wanted that dream, but at the end of the day, I'm just glad I was able to be a part of Suge's character. A few things I learned about myself and our group is one way was communication. I always noticed that they communicated better on the phone, and then I was with them. I was always a better communicator in person because I don't talk on the phone.
He doesn't.
5 minutes. I can talk to you in person for 2 hours. So I just felt like once we get to that conclusion, we're able to get both sides across in terms of communication in those two different type of ways. And secondly, about our group, I really found that we really tapped into untapped potential and gifts of what we had. You know, I'm at home like writing lines, you know what I'm saying, and recording music over the phone with Mike and just taking photos as models and stuff downtown, photo shoots, and
It was
singing
hot,
those.
too.
You know what I'm saying? It was hot in them suits.
Hot that afro.
So just all these things that we really tapped into that we had no idea we had these gifts and talents to do. So I'm glad we really discovered that in this group.
Yeah.
What I discovered about myself in the group, for myself, I discovered that I'm stronger than I thought I was. You do when you do a lot of things, you don't really take it as a gift. You just take it as a hobby. Before doing this, I was just playing around making videos.
Yeah.
Now look, we're doing a 5-chapter miniseries on YouTube
Yeah.
that I basically edited, produced,
Yeah.
did the music, did the video. Hopefully you love it.
Yeah.
Hopefully you like it.
Yeah, you do. You're watching. You do.
Yeah.
And then I discovered about our group is that the meaning of what it really means to be a brother's keeper. Like I can always count on these guys for everything, for advice, for help, or whatever I needed. They always came through for me, and stuff that they even didn't show me directly, I've learned from that. I'm the youngest of the group, so they taught me a lot of things about manhood, period, because I didn't know that before getting into this group that we have. We've actually been together for about 2 years before we even started this.
Yeah.
So I've learned a lot from everything. So.
Yeah, what I would say I learned, I would say I learned a lot of trust. I learned to trust once we discovered what our gifts were. I mean, being a writer of the movie, him being the producer, Art and Shug being like the editor, and he did a lot of other things as well. I mean, just being able to trust what we bring to the table. I mean, they trusted me to write, trusted him to produce and do music, trusted Art to edit, and just know that they would show up prepared. You know, I really learned that because I can get a little impatient when things are things are not the way I want them. You know what I mean? With me being a big brother,
impatient, not little impatient.
well, listen, I just told you I was a big brother, right? Which means that I was always in charge. I always had responsibility. So what I said to my younger brother and sister, they listened to. There was no questions. It's this. That's how it goes. Well, that doesn't always work with other people, you know. So I had to realize I needed to be patient. Everyone doesn't work the way I work. I like to kind of do things ahead of time, get it out the way, kind of, you know, real regimented, real structured. He's kind of he could be a little last minute sometimes. He's kind of in the middle, you know. So I always want things done out the way. You got to realize, you have to trust that it's all going to come together, and just, you know, just relax and just allow them to be able to work at their own pace, and just you know, just really just trust the guys. I mean, they were always on me about, you know, wanting things done right then. Me and Mike will argue on the phone all the time. Gee, I'm going to get it done. It's going to be fine.
Those arguments you've seen in the movie.
I got to play referee.
Yeah. I would have to call him and say, Art, am I tripping, man? I think this scene should be done already. It's been a week. Why come you don't got it done? You know what I mean? So it's just, I had to learn to just back off and trust him and let him do his thing. But he's been mad at me plenty of times.
When he choked me, I think he really wanted to do that.
I put a little squeeze. I put a little extra squeeze in there. I did. I had a long week. We always shot on Saturday.
When I yelled, I really wanted to yell.
We've had some battles, man. We've had some battles, but through it all, just to trust that we're all talented, and we didn't even know some of the things that we could do before this. So once you, you know, game recognized game, you know, and we definitely were able to respect that, and that's what kept us together. But trust me, there was some battles along the way, for sure.
So I'm gonna kick this one off because it affected me the most.
Yeah.
First of all, I just gotta say it's these Negroes' fault. We had a long, and I mean, like, this is the longest conversation we've ever had.
Almost tore the group apart.
Ever.
Yeah. Stopped the whole film.
I want to say it tore the whole group apart. It definitely would have stopped the film.
Yeah.
Because of where we wanted to go. Mm-hmm. And it's different for me because I grew up in church my whole life.
Yeah.
So I I was basically the poster child of everything heavenly, everything good,
Yeah.
everything nice.
Yeah.
And doing this particular season of the movie, I say a few words
Yeah.
that
Chapter 2.
I don't say.
Go back and watch chapter 2 in that
Ever.
dressing room.
Yeah.
He was
A lot
going
of-
off.
A lot of
wasn't
retakes on that one.
he? Yeah.
Yeah.
And I show a side of myself that I don't show the world, let alone my family. My family hardly ever sees this side of me.
Mhm.
This is a very tamed version of that side of that person, and he's not as gracious or heavenly as
I knew something was in there the way you was talking to me on the phone.
Yeah.
We be arguing, so I knew it wasn't all heaven.
Yeah.
So, just it's still a little hard, with people, and they're used to you as a certain way, and they don't understand the route that you went. But after talking to them profusely about this, continuously about this, I did give in. I mean, I did let out some steam that I've been wanting to let out.
Oh,
Yeah,
for
feels
years.
it was therapeutic, huh? You're welcome.
So that was good.
I see you in bed.
Right.
Okay. So it did give me courage now to be able to literally just stand on my own feet and to not really care so much about what people see about me or think about me, because I have to be the one that chooses the road. Me and the Lord choose the road of where I go. And if I want to go beyond this, I do want to be bigger. Someday I want to be one of them people that has a household name to them. So not that I'm going to do everything and be outlandish or anything like that. I just want to step outside my comfort zone more and take the world by storm, because I know there's a lot of things that God has given me. So this is not your last time seeing Michael D. Pittman. You will see me again.
And as far as just how it affected, I mean, personally, I can tell you, the language that we use in the miniseries, the film, movie, whatever you want to call it, it wasn't easy to use that. We got into a huge argument about wanting to use that language. And the reason I wanted to use that language is because I wanted to show you what unsaved, non-Christian people, the type of language they would use to make it realistic, to make you see that we didn't know anything about God. We
But
didn't.
hold on, Christian folks are using those words too.
Yeah, Christian folks are using those words, and those are the main folks that really had a lot to say about this, and we do that. So anybody out there that was offended by the words we use, we apologize. We didn't want to offend you, but we wanted to be honest about these are the type of language, because think about it, if we're using drugs, we running women and all that stuff, that type of language is natural to come out. You're not going to use drugs and have all these different women around you and be drinking and everything and not use the type of language. That's not realistic. But we were sure to make sure the type of language we use was the same language that is considered PG-13. And also the language that we were using wasn't even as bad as the primetime shows that a lot of y'all watch every night. Mm-hmm. Your kids watch, so we were very careful of that. But when it came up, I can honestly tell you about a good week, there was a lot of problems. He completely shut down, didn't talk with us. He didn't want to use the language. So when he says it's our fault, I take responsibility for that, because he really didn't want to do it. But he's still a grown man, because he ended up saying the word anyway.
Right.
So, that was probably the hardest thing, because we still would have to come to church. People would look at us funny. Some folks wouldn't talk to us. A lot of folks told on us. Basically sent us to hell. So we glad to be out of hell. It was real hot down there, so we're glad to be back in the kingdom. But it's just one of those things where if I had to do it again, knowing the reaction that we would have got, would I have wanted to put those words in there? Probably not. I mean, the reaction that we got, it was pretty heavy for a while from people who didn't like what we were using, didn't think that we were representing God, because we are active in church and we do serve and we do things and we have a good name and we are respected. So we probably lost some of that during this time. So I mean, that could be kind of a regret. You know, everything that you do, you're always going to have some regret. So, but I mean, it worked. It did what it was supposed to do. We still love the Lord. He still loves us. We are forgiven for the words that we use. But I think it made its point. But to say I would do it all over again, I probably would, not knowing the reaction we got. You know, because it was pretty heavy. And the way it affected him was really hard on me, because like I said, that big brother role and the way I look at him and kind of like a little brother to me, all the reaction words pretty much put on him. You know, no one was really coming to us saying anything about the words we were saying, because we said things too. But when he started to really take the hit for it, knowing that I was the one that kind of pushed it bothered me a lot, because I feel like I kind of put him in a bad spot, you know, to really have to take that. So that was something I had to deal with. But, you know, just, you know, told my family, I called my mother and told her real early, my father, hey, I'm going to use some language here. You know what I stand for. You know, this is really not me. We're just doing this for this film. Were they happy about it? They were not, but they understood I am grown and I make my own decisions and live with the consequences. And there were some. So I would just say to anyone out there, once again, if you were offended by the language that we use, we apologize. But we were just trying to really make it as real as possible. And I know the argument is you can still make it real without that language. We get that. That's not what we did. So once again, we apologize if you were offended.
Yeah, I share the same views as the guys, but I know one of my major goals was to make this film not the prototypical Christian or religious-based film that you normally see on BT or in the movies and things like that. We wanted to make this as real as possible. We wanted to see us from the beginning as unsaved black men all the way to saved black men. Because we are working in the church. We are armor bearers. We see us in our purple, part of Kingdom Nights program. So with this film, I know there were certain words, you know, use the N-word here and there. You know, my parents were the same way. When they first saw the video for the first time, like, are y'all gonna be cussing in the next video? It's like at the end of the day, our goal was to get the unsaved. We know they're already saved, they're already in the kingdom. You guys are here. Our goal is to reach out to those able to realize and recognize who we are, because they can compare themselves to us and see that they can take a drug addict who loved women, who can cuss and all these things, and still be converted as a soldier in God's army. So at the end of the day, we do apologize, we're offended, but that was not our goal.
Yeah. What I would say to anyone who has a vision that you believe God has given you to do something, you gotta have what they call stubborn faith, which means you have to believe it when nobody else believes it. We were fortunate to have, you know, 3 guys collectively that believed in our vision, that seen it. We had a few people outside of us, and I mean a few, but the others, we would pitch this idea, it wasn't received well, they didn't understand it, they didn't get it, they didn't see pretty much nothing good coming out of it, really, you know. But we were stubborn. We believed that this was something we were supposed to do. Ideas would come all throughout the day. I mean, I'll be at work writing lines, I'll be falling asleep writing lines, I wake up writing. It was always something coming to mind to do, because we believed that this was going to help someone else. We did this strictly for someone else's benefit, not for us. So that's what you have to remember. That's what's going to keep you going when you come up with the idea or a thought comes to your mind and you tell someone that you care about, because the closest people to you are going to be the ones that are going to discourage you. That's how the enemy works. He's not going to use someone that doesn't have an influence. You may tell a family member, girlfriend, boyfriend, whoever, you really passionate about something, and they look at you crazy like, that's not going to work. Like, that's stupid. Like, why would you even do that? Like, let's talk about something else. That can hurt you. You can't stop there, because you got to remember that anything that you get from God is always going to benefit. It's going to benefit you. It's going to benefit somebody else. So if you don't do it because it's too hard, it's too tough, people don't believe in you, then someone else doesn't get that benefit. So you can't be selfish and say, well, I'm not going to do it because it's not received. Even if it only just reaches one person, you got to continue to go forward and not be, you know, shaken by other people's, you know, thoughts. So just remember to go forward, because it is for somebody else. God is not going to give you something to do just for you. He wants to touch someone else through you. So when you think of that other person that needs you when you're tired, you know, when life gets in the way. I mean, we had to film on the weekends. We still have a 40-hour work week we got to put in. We still have personal relations we got to deal with. So you're coming into a photo shoot, a video shoot, whatever we're doing that day. with a whole week's worth of stuff. Well, we had to put that in the glove compartment and let that stay in there till we got back in the car to be able to really perform and give our best for your benefits. You're watching this now. You'll tell someone about this. They'll tell someone, and it'll continue to travel. So if we didn't do this, you would have never been able to see, the type of benefit it has. So I just think that anyone who has a goal, a vision, a dream, just remember it's for somebody else. So that alone should help you to keep going.
All right, with me, in terms of the vision, just piggybacking off of what G said in terms of your closest friends and relatives may not be on the same ride as you are. It just felt like when I shared this vision with maybe co-workers or friends I don't really speak to that much, they agree with what the vision was. And secondly, when you think you find people that you want to be a part of your vision, and unfortunately they don't, God really just dropped those people who need to be a part of this project to us. Mm-hmm. I just feel that everybody who's a part of this film were there for a reason, to be a part of our vision and our journey. And I just truly believe at the end of the day, if you have something in your mind, write it down. It's not legitimate until you write it down on a piece of paper. When you think about it, it's just a thought. You can forget about it tomorrow. So you have a vision, write it down, it's legitimate, and use that vision to go towards your destiny. I don't know what that may be. As long as you know that it's written down and you know the pieces you can do to get there, do it. Get people who have the same aspirations, people who have been there and done that. Get the wisdom from them so you already have the tools and the blueprint to do this as you want. So I'll take that.
I would start out with this. For God has not given us the spirit of fear, but of power, love, and a sound mind. And even sometimes when we say it, we don't believe it immediately. So this was I was always told by my mom: do it afraid.
Yeah.
Do it afraid, because you never know what will happen if you don't do it. You'll never know if you don't try. So you have to give it a shot, and you'll wind up learning things about yourself you didn't know. You wind up doing better than you could even ever imagine. Mm-hmm. If you just step out on faith, your faith has to become bigger than your situation.
True.
Your faith has to be bigger than your fear, because when you let that overtake you, the possibilities are limitless. And I'm talking to all the people who are perfectionists and like things to be done a certain way, because I am a perfectionist myself. Yeah. And it got on their nerves
all the time.
Time.
Retake.
Yeah.
Yes.
Cut.
Yep. Can we do that again, please?
Yeah. Once I learned to calm down, but yet still keep the spirit of excellence in what I did, and forgot about, they're gonna look at this way, they're gonna look at that this way. It's not really about that. It can't be because you're doing it. It's about how you feel all the time. It's about what God has given you. Yeah. There's a vision that He has shown you, so you have to walk it out in excellence. But don't be too caught up on this has to be right. This has to be so perfect.
Yeah, it's
not
not
to
gonna
see
be.
no flaw. Because no matter what you do, somebody's gonna find something in what you do. Someone's gonna find a flaw to pick it apart, to tear you down. Mm-hmm. But you have to be stronger than what people say about you, and even what yourself thinks about yourself. Yeah. Mm-hmm. You really have to. You have to develop a sense of confidence in knowing who you are and the gift that you have. Yeah. So, that's my encouragement to you.
So I just want to say thank you to everyone who are part of their viewing pleasure of watching this film. It was a lot of hard work, a lot of dedication, a lot of blood, sweat, and tears went into this. I'm just appreciative that you took the time out of your busy schedule to sit down and watch our journey that Ain't Nobody Likes It.
I also want to say thank you not only to just the viewers, but also just all the cast members, anyone who just helped us, get this off the ground, all the meetings, the text messages, emails, everything that we were sending out, trying to just get feedback. Co-workers that I have talked to at my job that I call co-producers, you know who you are, that have helped me, get different ideas and different looks at what we should do. So just want to thank you for that. I hope that you have enjoyed what we've done here. It was our first time. It will not be our last.
Yeah.
We also asked for feedback. What do you want to see next? We will take
Yeah.
that into strong consideration. What would you like to see next from AMG3? You know, what could we improve on? We are not, people who have a big ego. You know, we can take constructive criticism. So if you want to say something, you want to blast us and tell us this was terrible, it was the worst thing I ever seen, it's a lie because you watched all 5 chapters. So I know you're lying. But anything you want to say, we want to hear it. So just please email us all of your thoughts, all of your feedback. But most importantly, thank you for watching. We greatly appreciate it.
Just thank everybody. Thank you for your support and for allowing. Thank you Jesus too. Just for giving us this vision at the same time. Like we literally took off when doing this. We've gotten stronger. Thank you for viewing. Thank you for liking. Thank you for your comments.
Sharing
on Facebook,
Thank you
Instagram.
even for your concerns.
Yeah.
Thank you even for the rejection. It's okay. So we at AMG3, Art, Mike, and Gerald, thank you, and we love you, and we hope to see you soon.
Bless you.
Oh yeah.